episode of Just a Bit Outside. I'm your host, Steve Ely, and along with me, as always, my co-host, Wes Cook.
Let's go.
What's going on, buddy?
Man, we've had a snowcation here.
Yeah, I've liked it, but at the same time, I'm like, ugh, it's been awful.
But dude, I like snow around Christmas. That's fine. Snow, get me in the holiday spirit, but then go away. You want snow at the end of January? Get the shit out of here. Live at the beach.
I know, right? It was crazy with all the pictures with the beach covered in snow, though.
Yeah.
All the pictures were nice, but just, it's been awful.
Yeah, now it's over. Like, I need it to melt. And the fact that a lot of it's still sticking here, it's like, come on, man. It was 50 degrees today. This should just be out of here. Just be gone.
I literally, when they pretty much did the shutdown on us, they did it Tuesday afternoon. I was actually on base.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, oh, yeah, we're shutting down the base. At this time, we want everybody gone.
Right.
And don't come back tomorrow either. And then an email came out the very next day. Don't come back on Thursday.
Yeah.
And then don't come back on Friday.
Exactly.
But you can come to work on Saturday.
Be here Saturday. Base is open for business.
Yeah. Well, I was there. It was awful.
Yeah. Yeah, so that one kind of postponed this episode till the weekend. But we're still going to bring you all that exciting action that NFL playoffs have for you. We are down to 4 teams.
We are, sir. We are. A NFC East matchup in the NFC.
Yeah, third go-around of it this year.
Yeah. You guys split already. I, with my heart, would love to see Washington win this game.
Ugh.
But I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
Come on, man.
The meltdown that happened in the last game, you had a combination of Jalen getting hurt and then some terrible calls.
Really, we should never been in a position to that game.
Yes.
We had it well in hand and let it slip through our grasp. It was, even with Kenny Pickett back there.
We all get to see why Kenny Pickett is not a starting quarterback in the NFL.
We all do it anyway.
Yeah. Honestly, I like your third string guy.
No, I'm a big fan of Tanner McKee. Yeah. I think he should be the second choice for the number 2, but I'm not Nick Sirianni.
He
don't get to make that call.
He's looked good in his time.
Yeah, in the times he's been out there and gotten the opportunities, he's been good. I like Tanner McKee. I'm a much bigger advocate for him over Pickett.
Well, I got to imagine Pickett, you got him on a trade, so this should have been his last year on his rookie deal?
That's his last or next to last. I'm not positive.
All I know is freaking you guys ain't picking up his option.
No, I doubt it. I just don't think we saw enough from him this year that would say this is the guy we want back in.
Well, I mean, I got
especially when you got a guy like Tanner McKee that can come in here and just fill that position just fine. I'm fine with that. I much prefer.
Well, you're saving millions of dollars in that way too, because I gotta imagine his 5th-year option is 10 to 15 million.
Right, exactly.
Being a first-round draft
save
pick.
The money, right?
Yeah. And in the second game, I wholeheartedly am rooting for Buffalo. I think
everybody in the country is rooting for Buffalo outside of Kansas City.
I know a few outside of Kansas City.
Well, yeah, I guess Patriots, Dolphins, Jets fans don't care.
No. I mean, I'll be leaving to go hang out with one when we're out of here. Jen's
well, yeah, Kansas City fan.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's not Kansas City.
Oh, yes, she is.
Travis Kelce fan, and
she's all about the Kansas City. I was like, oh, they get so lucky.
Christina likes to call them the red team and get under my skin, but she knows this is a 1-team household, and it is go Birds.
Yeah,
that's
unfortunately.
Not unfortunately. Go Birds. I'm not playing this game right now, Steve. I'm sorry your team got their asses.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't think they were gonna win.
I know. I mean, you said it, but I mean, still. We'll get to we can start off with KC and Buffalo.
That is a game that like I said, I wholeheartedly want Buffalo to win. I think everybody does.
No, I agree. I think here's my thing with it is Buffalo's defense isn't the defense they've had in the past, right? So this one's probably going to end up being in the 30s.
Yeah.
I'd say
I don't know if it'll be that. I don't know if it'll be that. Kansas City doesn't score 30 points.
Kansas City. Here's the thing: you know what Patrick Mahomes can do with the playoffs, and when he's up against it, this is what he performs. And the thing is, Kansas City's defense is legit. So
they are.
That's what's carried this team all year, right?
They are, but they did get again some suspect calls last week.
I understand. Oh, I mean, yeah, Houston fans can be pissed. I get it.
They were definitely letting it voice after the game.
I mean, I think at this point it's not just fans that see it now.
It's everybody.
It's the teams of the league. We're all seeing it, and we're all like, done with it.
The rough and the passer were the two Texans guys actually collided with each other and never
touching them.
Yeah,
like something has to change. Like,
replay has the ability to pick up flags. I just don't know when they have that ability.
I mean, I think in those moments, with the way that replay comes back so quickly, because we get it as a fan, you get it. We see quickly.
It immediately.
Yeah, you see it immediately. Why isn't there somebody at the headquarters that is seeing it and calls down to the booth, be like, "Hold on, pick that flag up," before you make the call, because the refs are going to huddle anyway. Refs are going to huddle and be like, blah, 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 blah. This is what happened. And the thing is, when that happens, you should be getting a phone call and be like, "Nah, man, that's not a flag. Pick it up."
Yep. Well, it was that one, the one they got on, was it Anderson? That, like, the ball had literally just come out of his hand when he hit him.
Mm-hmm.
And they got him for that one. I'm like, he chest bumped him.
Yeah, I mean, there's little ticky-tack. And then you see Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts get pulled down out of bounds already, and there's no flags in those games.
Well, look at the
if that's Patrick Mahomes, we're thinking that's probably a flag.
Look at the Jared Goff.
I'm much more. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, he just threw a pick, so he was a.
The rule states even after a pick, he still cannot be hit in the head like that.
Well,
like it's still roughing the passer, because he still made contact with his head.
Well, he did. I don't know why. You mean unnecessary roughness?
Roughing
the passer.
Well, it's still a penalty.
Yeah,
like it wouldn't have got him the ball back. It would have been a 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
Like I see that flag from Holmes, and you want it for other quarterbacks if that's the way it's going to be called.
Yeah,
but I see it happen. To Jackson, I see it happen to Hurts.
Josh Allen gets clobbered.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's not really a call. It's hit or miss, right? Because of how close they are. They also, in the heat of the moment, sometimes you don't even know where you are on the field. Like, am I out of bounds yet? I don't know. I just need to bring this guy down.
Did you see the Mahomes going out of bounds and like slowing up right before he got out of bounds? And then he did the big over dramatic flop, trying to get the call.
I mean, he's contributing to the hate, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you are at this point.
I mean, luckily they didn't call that one, but I mean, he was trying to get it drawn.
Yeah, so this game is going to come down to Josh Allen executing and protecting the ball. James Cook protected the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Receivers protected the ball. You don't turn the ball over in Kansas City. I mean, that's really what this game's going to come down to. Buffalo can protect the ball, win the turnover battle. I think they're in the Super Bowl.
That's been the whole playoffs. The team that we have seen it every game. The team that doesn't turn the ball over, other than Houston, who didn't turn the ball over and actually had more yardage than their opponent. But again, they're playing. What is it? How many officials are there? 6.
4 or 6.
They're playing 15 plus against 11.
No, I understand. Here, I just don't want to pin it all on.
No, you gotta do stuff. I get it.
You gotta do stuff to win these games, and
but there are just sometimes where
it's just the whistle and the luck and the whistle going Kansas City's way has been too much this year. It's been a lot overwhelming, right? So it's really pissed off a lot of fans. It pisses off people. They don't want it.
Well, how many games were they saved by it?
No, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, the Raiders game, the Bengals game,
Atlanta.
the no call for Atlanta. Yes, like they had games that they shouldn't be 15-1. I mean, granted, yes, they are 15-1. It's going to go down in the record book as 15-1, but they were most definitely games that they should have lost. But they want Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl because that'll bring in how many extra millions of viewers.
I understand the aspect of the Taylor, right? But it's not bigger than the game of football. And that's really what needs to be the focal point.
It should be.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist that think the NFL's got a fix in, but it makes you question it. It makes you think about it. You're curious as to what is the motive in some of these games. Is there something? I still want to stay on the belief that it's not, and this is just the luck of Kansas City so far, and we'll just leave it at that. But back to my point, I think Buffalo goes through. If they can win the turnover battle here, then they can protect the football. I think offensively, they're just way too talented for this Kansas City team to keep up with. And if they're putting up points and not giving Patrick Mahomes short field or they manage the time well, I think the Bills could win this one and make their way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm big on this one. I actually like Buffalo plus the 2.5.
Yeah, big fan of that.
Give me the 2.5, and that over and under it at 48.5 is a little sketchy.
Yeah, I kind of want. Like I said, I think this one could end up in the 30s, but with Kansas City's defense, it does make you question it a little bit. The line's probably perfect for Vegas. They love it. You're gonna have a lot of people that want to take the under because of the defense that could be played here.
Yeah,
and then a lot and the inefficiencies. Inconsistencies is a better term of Kansas City's offense.
Yeah. Man. But I mean, they're starting to get healthy a little more. Pacheco's back. What's really driving me crazy about Kansas City right now is their little to no use with, God, why am I having a brain? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because when you did see him out there and doing what he was doing, you're like, well, this is going to be a really good Kansas City team.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of fell off after a couple games. You're like,
Why aren't you doing?
Why aren't you utilizing him in the passing game when you have this opportunity with a guy that is, that explosive?
I don't know.
Even at his age, I mean, he's still explosive.
Yeah, he's still a guy that can go get the ball for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You still have to, but now like with as little uses they're getting, or that he's getting, I like get one target a game.
If that sometimes, I mean it doesn't seem. This doesn't make sense to me.
You're not fooling anybody with him.
No, because you're not targeting him. So I mean, why waste my best corner on a guy like this?
Yeah, you got to. With them, I've got to imagine improving the offensive weapons that they have. It's got to be a key. Because I mean, me personally, if they make Super Bowl and they win, I don't think Kelsey comes back. I think he's done.
Why wouldn't he be? I mean, have a three-peat.
He'll be 35.
He'll be 35. He's got so much in his career outside of football going for him at this point. It's like, why risk the injury? Why risk anything forward? Yeah, I mean, you're set up for retirement after it.
Yeah.
I think he'd still be hungry and see, like, we made the AFC title game again. We were the number 1 seed. And we came up short against the MVP candidate in Josh Allen. That's nothing to scoff at. And I think if you came up short here, you might get a year out of it.
Maybe.
And he's turned it on in the second half of the year.
He has turned it on.
He had a slow start, but look at him now. He's getting it. And
yeah,
I mean, it's really hard to say that the competitive juices aren't there with the kid.
He's to me, it looks like he's lost a step or two, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, that's what you expect at this age, right? I mean, you're not going to see 30-year-old Kelsey out here anymore.
No, I
Yeah,
get it.
you've got a 30, 34, 35-year-old Kelsey, and he's going to start to slow down. Father Time is undefeated, as they've always said.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't got to tell me. I know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel it. 40 and I fucking feeling it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I just don't think he comes back. Okay. He doesn't come back. I don't think they keep Hopkins.
No, I think he was.
So, they've got to figure out what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean,
weapon-wise.
this is an opportunity to go out and get one of those higher regarded wide receivers.
Oh my God. Want to think about it, but like I don't.
But also, I mean, it's not like they're not going to get Rice back. Worthy's been pretty solid in spots. I mean,
Worthy's been solid, but Worthy is more of that. To me, he reminds me more of that Wes Welker, Julian Edelman-esque
yeah, exactly.
type player. I mean, he's fast. But I don't. He's just, to me, he's too small to be that main outside threat.
No, I know, but that's why you have a guy like Rice that comes back.
I'm not buying him coming back the same. The knee's a little different for a wide receiver, man.
It can be. It absolutely can be.
It's different.
We'll see. I mean,
we'll see what his work ethic is like, because I think the weight room, the physical therapy, all of that is where.
I mean, that determines how quickly you're going to come back and how much better you be when you do get back. So he's still young. That's huge in that aspect. He's only, this is his second year, so he'll be just fine.
Yeah.
On to the NFC title game. You have the Birds and the Commodes. And it's really shameful to call them Commodes. I can't really call them that anymore. The NFC title game, and they have the quarterback that we said was the quarterback of this draft. Probably not to the extent that he's been playing at. The guy's balling.
Right. He is 100% balling.
Yeah, it's really hard to fault Washington here. They've done a good job rebuilding. They brought in a coach that was hungry.
Well, Quinn's been around the block. He'd already done it one time. He knows
exactly.
He'd already made the mistakes.
Yeah, he's done a good job putting together, assistant coaching staff, and they've drafted well. They've got players in the right spot.
It also helps to play a last place schedule.
It does, but I mean and then they play a beat up Detroit off defense. And then, I mean, Tampa's defense wasn't the same as we've used to see from them. But I mean, they still gave him a game. No,
yeah, it was still a fantastic game.
Mm-hmm. It was proven if Washington is a shootout with somebody, and
they can do it.
You have to have the defensive stops. And you turn the ball over as much as they did last week. That's going to be very hard to overcome. I know Detroit has done it in the past, but when you get into the playoffs, it's a different animal.
Well, it's just crazy to have that many turnovers, still score 30-something points, and lose.
Yeah. Oh, the doorbell goes off.
Oh, really? Awesome.
There's a short in it or something. I gotta fix it.
Awesome. That thing go off at like 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, but I don't hear it. Dead, man.
I would. It would drive me nuts.
No, but see, if we turn the front porch light on, it won't do it. It's one of those things.
It's one of those, I'm not sure why it's doing this.
Yeah. But it's all good. I'll get it fixed. See, there it goes again.
Lord, we're talking about now. It's going to be ding, 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 ding. But, yeah. Like I said, like I told you earlier, I would be completely fine with Washington winning this, even though I 100% don't think they have a shot. I actually like Philly -6.
Ooh, not me. Not me. I do not. And I'll tell you why. Jalen Hurts isn't 100%. And the last two
losing
times
Dean was.
Yeah, Jacoby Dean's out.
It's big.
So Burks stepped up huge last game. So props to Burks. Burks was phenomenal in the last game. So if we get the same production out of them, I like us a lot more. But both times we played this team, it's been close, and I imagine it's going to be a close one again. It's not going to be 2017-esque where Minnesota walked in and got their asses handed to them. Now, is the atmosphere going to be different than what Washington got in Week 11? Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, playoff football in Philly is different. I promise you.
Of course it is. You can tell by the ticket price.
With that, but at the same time, I mean, it's rowdy. Like regular season game is, we got something to come back to next week. If you beat us, okay. I got you next week. I can be right back here in this seat and, screaming at you. This is playoff, and this is win by any means necessary here. Lots of there's a lot on the line here for the Super Bowl, right? So the fans are going to be juiced for it. Just expect that, and the crowd's going to be rowdy.
Oh yeah. Well, it's Philly; they're rowdy for everything.
Well, absolutely. But so when we're talking about the way this game starts. This game starts like it did in Washington. It's 14-0 Birds. Good luck. The crowd's going to be in it from there, and you're gonna have a hard time getting back in. Now, if Philly turns the ball over early, we make mistakes early. Washington gets off to a 7-10 lead. The Boo Birds come out for Philly. It could be in for a long day. It depends, like, because the opposing team is going to feed off the opposing fans booing their own team.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, look, man, let's keep them up. Let's keep making it happen. Let's keep this up. So what needs to happen is Philly needs to come out with a strong start and get a couple good stops. 7-10 lead, probably get out of the first quarter or something like that. Head into halftime with at least a single possession lead, and kind of build and make your tweaks at halftime.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they need to do.
I think you're looking at something good, but turnover battle, of course, is always going to be a primary point that we want to look at. The Eagles, fortunately, I'm going to knock on wood, have been very good at protecting the football. Doesn't look like this one's going to be a snow game, so we should be able to see more passing in this one. But as we've seen in the past, Saquon Barkley will run in the snow, rain, sleet, hail, don't matter. Saquon will get it.
Well, that's what I think they should do.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just like we did last week. I mean, we won with by the legs of Saquon. I think if you're looking at this Eagles team to win anything, they're going to win by the legs of Saquon.
Dude, the Rams were game for a snow game. Surprisingly to me. They hung in a long time.
They adjusted well. So the second Saquon Barkley touchdown, it seemed like a wrap.
Yeah.
And then came back out and they started doing the short passes and hurry up offense.
Yep.
And it took Philly out of their mentality altogether. They were not prepared for that game plan. They couldn't make the adjustments properly, and it allowed for the Rams to get back into that game and make it the last possession valuable. Yeah, it was very respectful. I think the Rams defense is a lot more potent than that of Washington. So that's a benefit to the Birds here, especially with the O-line that they have. Cam Jurgens did practice yesterday, so that's huge.
That's huge.
Because there was thoughts he might miss this one. We are fortunate that Landon Dickerson can kind of slide in and play some center, so we wouldn't be up Schitt's Creek in that instance. So I like the Birds' chances. I don't think this is a blowout win. I don't think this is a runaway win. If it is, like, God, I would thank you so much. But it's just just knowing NFC rivalry games, it's not going to be that way for us. And Philly likes to make things interesting.
They do. They
They
do.
like to make it a lot more interesting than it should be.
What
To say the least.
I expect to see and what I would like to see, I'd like to see Philly slow the game down. Slow it down, pound the rock, you know, play time of possession game with Washington because Washington has the ability to score quick.
They can, yeah.
And so,
I mean, I just think this defense is different than what they've been.
oh no, I agree with you 100%.
So they're gonna have to execute as well. They're gonna have to protect the football.
Yeah,
you don't want to give Barkley and Hurts, AJ Brown, and Devontae Smith a short field.
No, you do not.
Yeah, I mean the kicking's questionable right now. Elliott is.
Every kicker has been questionable this year.
It's strange.
It's just been a weird year.
But yeah, it makes you a little bit worried about field goal range. It may even come down to field goal.
I mean, Elliott's been rough.
Justin
Tucker.
Yeah, no, I mean everybody was struggling. I mean, especially your top tier guys.
Yeah, Koo from Atlanta was struggling all year.
Yeah,
like it was.
You saw a lot of the younger guys that were more successful than what you saw from the old heads.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I think hopefully it doesn't come down to that. Hopefully we're able to just get the ball in the end zone here.
Yeah,
and convert on those extra points.
You're just like Philly money line then.
I mean, I'm pulling for.
Yeah, you don't ever bet on the Phillies anyway.
It's not. I can't bet on the Birds here. I mean, I'm just because I don't want the bad karma coming back. I just think I'm gonna take the Birds, and I would take the money.
Yeah, I think Philly wins by 10. I really do.
I hope you're right.
I really do. I think Philly wins by 10. I do like the under in this one because I do feel that Philly's going to slow the ball down and limit Washington's possessions because they have the ability. I mean, Saquon just averages, give you 5 yards. 5 yards and fall over. 5 yards, fall over. 5 yards.
No, I agree with you.
4 yards and fall over.
I think what you'll see from Washington's defense is they want to see where Hurts is early.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to stack the box early. They're going to make Hurts get rid of the football, make quick decisions, and they want to see him pass the ball.
I want to see him move a little more. I want to see how the movement.
I would like to. I just don't know if the knee's going to allow him to move as much as he's capable of.
Is he bracing up for it? You know.
They haven't said anything about that. He very well may.
If he comes out with a brace on, I think that's all the answer you need as far as movement.
Yeah, I think you're going to be looking at more of the traditional pocket passer Hurts. But I wouldn't put it past Sirianni not to get very creative here. We may see kind of a little bit of a different offense, especially from the quarterback play here, than what you're used to seeing. And this is to catch them by surprise and make them have to adjust on the whim.
Right. It wouldn't surprise me.
So, yeah, I mean, you could see a little bit of creativity out of Sirianni just because we've seen this team twice already. So you're going to want to do something a little bit different.
A little different.
You're going to have to really limit what Hurts does bad and really allow for him to shine in what he does well.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to find those points in the game, and you're gonna have to, highlight them. You're gonna have to make sure that we are capitalizing on those opportunities where he can succeed.
I 100% agree with you. Again, I don't want the Eagles to win, but I think
I hope so.
I think they're gonna. Honestly, I don't want to see Bills KC again.
You're gonna get Bills. What you got?
I mean, Eagles and KC in the Super Bowl. I don't want to see it.
From my standpoint, I do.
You do because you want that revenge game.
I like the revenge aspect of it, but in terms of which team I'd rather see, I'd rather see Kansas City. Honestly, I'd much rather see Kansas City than Buffalo. If my team is to make it, I'd much rather see Kansas City than Buffalo. I think Buffalo is offensively one of the best teams we've seen in a while. They're good.
those two teams robbed me of a lot of money last week.
How so?
Well, you saw the one beat, the one where I was 2 yards short.
Oh yeah, that was.
I had one for the Buffalo game, and because it turned into a snow game, pre whatever, I just need Josh to give me 200 yards.
Yeah,
200 yards.
That was a rough one because
That one would have paid out 3.
but we had to turn. You had to turn that one around. So that was about getting the weather forecast because everybody knew the Philly game was going to be in snow.
Yeah,
they knew it was going to be in snow.
Yeah,
it just didn't happen. Didn't really happen till the end of the first quarter, beginning of the second, and then after halftime, you got snow filled.
Yeah.
So
I love watching those games.
No, they're fun. They're fun.
What I like about
Saquon killed it in those.
What I like about it, though,
it looked a lot like Shady out there killing it.
What I like about it is you can see the speed of the game completely slow down.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it has to because you don't want to you don't want to throw the football in those conditions. Number one, those balls are being thrown hard, and catching them with cold ass hands, that's a difficult thing to do. So that's why you're going to see drops. You're not cutting as well. There's so many aspects into it. You can't see the ball as well. Snowflakes are coming down like crazy. It's definitely a different ball game whenever it's.
It would, but like the Buffalo,
and that's where you capitalize. That's why you have a guy like Saquon Barkley that comes in here and he runs the way he does.
Out of all the free agent mishaps that have happened in the last 10 years, that's got to be like
it's
number one.
Yeah.
Number one.
I agree.
I mean, not only do you let that guy walk out your building, but you let him walk right into a division rival.
A division rival that was
already good.
That already had all the tools in place to make him successful.
Yes.
You gave them the opportunity to show what Saquon could have been if you did it right.
You pretty much said, here's the best running back in the game for the next 3 or 4 years, and we just help you stay probably the top of the NFC East for the foreseeable window.
Yeah.
I mean, ridiculous.
It is.
Ridiculous. You know something crazy, though? Saquon's deal is still less money than Adrian Peterson's last big deal.
Yeah.
Which is insane to me.
But it did move the market back in the right direction.
A little.
And if anything, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, all single-handedly
changed their teams.
Well, they changed their teams. You're correct. But they helped the value of the running back market because
it helped a little.
It's going to. You watch these next 2 off seasons, you'll see the value that's going to be placed in running backs because they're going to. What do you do when you see another team that's successful with something?
Yeah, but at the same time,
you try to mock it. You're going to try to do the same thing. I'm not.
Yeah, but there ain't but one.
I'm not going to say you're going to see a $15 million running back again.
Yeah, but there's only one Barkley. There's only one Derrick Henry. There's only one Josh Jacobs.
But those guys are developing now.
The next guy, to me, as of right now, the next running back that's going to get that has the opportunity. Williams? Maybe.
Joe Mixon was huge for Houston this year.
He was, and then they kind of just completely went away from him.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
He was kind of banged up towards the end of the year. He was in and out, so that kind of had a little bit to do with the limited touches I think he received at the end of the year.
The next guy that's going to get the opportunity for the big running back is probably going to be Gibbs.
Oh yeah,
or Bijan. Now that you get to see what he can actually do.
Yeah, but I'm saying those are the guys that are developing now. Yeah. They were both drafted in the same draft.
Yeah.
So you got 2 more years of those guys before you were renegotiating.
Got 3 if you want to count the option year.
Well, you're not going to get to the option after year 4. You're going to have to pay.
You're gonna.
Yeah.
I think you can actually renegotiate with those guys after year 3.
It might be the case. I'm not positive. That's
if you want to.
Right. I don't think it's a necessity because they're
No.
there. They're locked in. We'd be like, go out here and give it to us again year 4, and then yeah, because I mean those guys don't want the team to pick up the option at that time because
Yeah.
they're looking for that second contract. That's what every running back is because
If they want the second one, and you want that big second one.
yeah, you want the second one. Yeah, but like I said, I don't know if we're going to see the world with $15 million running back again.
No.
But the $12, $13 million guy, I think that's going to be your top end, at least for the foreseeable future, because they are that kind of an asset to a team. But yeah, I mean, if you go back in and you look at teams that are doing it a little bit differently, and you have the two-headed monsters, and
Detroit's had that has been fantastic.
Yeah, it is. But the thing is, you're able to do it because of the amount of money spending on it, right? So
Yeah.
you might go find a middle tier guy, like say, and I hate even calling Swift a middle tier guy because he can be a top tier guy with the right pieces in front of him. But like say you take a DeAndre Swift, and then you're gonna go off and pair him up with a rookie running back that comes in on a low deal or minimal deal that's not going to be hitting the book so hard. And then you're going to run both of them. That's the same thing Detroit did. They went off and got Montgomery, and then Gibbs fell in their lap. They took Gibbs, and they're like, well, we got to run both of them. And look at how good it's run.
Gibbs? Yeah, but you see how really good Gibbs is when Montgomery is not part of the picture.
Oh, I agree.
Like, he's a baller.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he could be your workhorse if needed be. You're talking about the duos.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Washington's duo with Eckler and Robinson Jr.
Yeah.
That's not a terrible one.
Not bad. And they're probably not paying the two of them combined more than what Saquon's paying.
Yeah.
And it all comes down to health. I mean, Birds have been fortunately healthy for the most part all year.
They have been very healthy compared to a lot of other teams.
Yeah, so that helps. I mean, that's what happens when you get to these points in the year. Health is a part that allows for you to get to this point.
Yeah.
So,
all right. We kind of covered those games. I told you earlier this week I had a question for you I wanted to throw out to you. I was listening to some stuff the other day, and they were talking about quarterbacks in the NFL and the battles and like where you rank these guys among each other. Mm-hmm. And the four that they were talking about, you could arguably say are 4 of the top 5 in the NFL.
Okay.
Before they were talking, was Mahomes, Jackson, Allen, and Burrow. And you could, legitimately, Burrow won't win it, but you've got 3 MVP candidates right there. Burrow's going to finish in the top 5 in the voting, even though he never made the playoffs.
It's not his fault.
If they were a playoff team, he'd probably be, you could legitimately argue MVP for him because of his numbers.
Yeah, if you flip like a 2-win, 2-loss thing,
just get him in the playoffs.
I'd see. That's the thing. I don't know if you just get him into the playoffs if they're gonna say that he deserves it. But let's say they fell into the playoffs this year. The way they would have gotten in would have been, a miraculous feat because of how far behind the 8 ball they started.
Well, their defense is god awful,
but it got better towards the end of the year. So it allowed for them to improve. But the problem was they were just so bad early on that they got so far behind that it was almost impossible to catch up. The fact that they were still in the last week of the season and still being talked about as a potential playoff team says a lot. And it's all because of the offense and the way it operated.
Yeah.
And that offense carried that team. But that defense was so bad that
it put them in a hole.
You were in a hole. You just didn't have a shot.
But I mean, what I'm saying though, arguably you could say that's 4 of your top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. The problem with those 4, and it reminds me of a lot of, football from 10 years ago in the AFC. When you had Brady and Manning and the Roethlisberger and Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
You've got all these guys that are going to be battling in the playoffs. every year. You're going to see them. You're going to see at least 3 of these guys in the playoffs every year.
All in the same division.
All in
not
all
division,
in
but
the same
conference. Yeah.
And then you got to add like Justin Herbert
Yeah.
to the mix, CJ Stroud to the mix.
Yeah.
And like my question is, but I started thinking about just those 4 main guys. I mean, Patrick's already done his thing, so he's kind of set himself apart from those guys. It's kind of like
everybody's gonna look at him as the GOAT of
Yeah.
this era, right?
yeah,
now.
it's Brady-esque.
Right. I mean, if you 3-peats, I mean, you can have the conversation.
Yeah. But my question is, what I was trying to figure out, like, all of these guys can't win. Who is going to be like this generation's Phillip Rivers? Who is going to be a great quarterback, but just it's going to be a hair short every time because he's having to play one of these other guys
Lamar
all
Jackson.
the time.
Lamar Jackson.
Think Lamar Jackson's the guy?
Absolutely. Wins MVPs, but can't get it done in the playoffs. And he can't get it done in the playoffs because of the teams he's coming up against in the playoffs. It's I don't see Lamar Jackson get over the hump. I don't. I know they played Buffalo, and I've been singing Buffalo's praises. They played them tight, but I just don't see it as Lamar Jackson.
The thing that got me about the Buffalo game is, where was Derrick Henry like the entire fourth quarter?
Right. Yeah.
I don't feel like they even ran the ball with him.
Yeah. The thing is, you didn't. I mean, you almost became kind of predictable because it was like, we just need to score. We need to score fast, and we need to figure out how to do it. We're going to do it through the air. It's like, why?
Henry's a
ride the guy that got you here.
Henry is that guy. The more he's like Saquon, they have that same draft. The more you're touching the ball with him,
well, it gives you better opportunity to hit the space and end up on these big runs. Look at Saquon.
Yes,
like when he gets that opportunity, it's just going to be one. It just takes one.
It only takes one.
He gets it, and he got 2 of them last week.
And
that's it. That's what it's going to be. But if you're not giving him the touches and the opportunities to do these things, this is what you're going to look at.
That's 2 years in a row that I feel that the game plan has failed him. Like last year, they went full-fledged. We're not going to run the ball at all. We're going to let Lamar win this game. Yeah. Which is exactly, I don't want to say it's not what you want to do, but you don't want Lamar throwing to win the game.
It's kind of, but that's what they did in the fourth quarter of this game.
Yeah. And they should know by now that that doesn't work for them.
No.
I mean, I just feel these guys are so like, if Cincinnati can get their defense together, and depending on what happens with T. Higgins, offensively, they can play with anybody. Anybody. Allen has just, I don't know. I know Lamar's numbers have been great. They're all their numbers. Right? Yeah. But I just feel like Allen's taken a step forward this year. Like a turnover, like he went from being like turnover machine to being more ball protected.
Yeah, he found that good median, right? He found that spot where I don't take the chance here, but I can't take a chance
here.
He's finding it there where he knows those turnovers are more costly in this scenario and that scenario. He's just found a good median within himself, right?
Yeah.
That middle ground that's allowed for him to kind of take that next step to where he's at. And that's what I'm saying. I think this is the year he takes the next step and he's in the Super Bowl.
I would love to see it.
Yeah.
I would love to see it.
I mean, and that's a passionate fan base up there that deserves a triple.
They do. In all honesty, they deserve a win in that game, for Christ's sakes. I mean, Lord.
I get that. I get it. If they're playing the Birds, they don't deserve shit.
No, that's you. That's the Birds in you. But like, if they weren't playing the Birds, if they were playing any other NFC team, you would be like,
I'd be pulling for the Bills. Absolutely. Yeah. If Washington somehow wins this football game and they're playing it, I'm 100% on the Bills.
Oh, I'm with you.
Honestly, I might pull for Kansas City over I just can't. I cannot pull for Washington.
No, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. You've got hate in your heart for that.
yeah,
I get
buddy,
it.
yeah. I mean, I'm glad that they are competitive again because I do like playing good competitive football against good teams, right?
Yeah.
So it's even nice.
I mean, you
that-
still got 2 games against the Giants and the Cowboys every year. So,
I know,
you
but
know.
I like it when Dallas is good because I mean it does make things interesting in the league, and it makes the wins over them that much sweeter because it's like, oh well, you were going to beat us anyway. Y'all are 10 times better, you know. Like,
Well, we could be way better, but
I
you
know,
know,
but it just
you
doesn't,
could be
it doesn't
better.
It doesn't make the win as sweet, right? I mean, winning over Dallas is fantastic anyway. Anytime, you know, it's still a good feeling. You walk away and you're like, yeah, I beat them. That's great. But it's Cowboys fans aren't nearly as sour, except when their team is good.
No, I
when
feel
they
like
take
they're
the loss.
sour all the time.
No, it just you can see it. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like Bob's been so different.
He's been quiet as hell.
Yeah, exactly.
'Cause he knows he ain't
you
got
can't
shit.
rub shit. But see, you can't rub in these wins. You can't be like, ha. So the only thing I'm gonna have is if the Birds win the Super Bowl and be like, hey, buddy.
Nah, man. You realize with Washington making the NFC Championship game, they were the team that had the
know.
longest championship game drought.
Yeah, conference title game draft.
Yes, and
Until
now it belongs solely to the Cowboys.
every other team in the NFC has made the conference final since 2000,
except for
except
those damn,
fucking awesome.
you know,
It's kind of funny actually.
they would have been, you know, if Jerry hadn't gotten ahead of himself and fired Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, I mean, yeah,
That was-
talking. I mean, I know Barry Switzer came in and won a Super Bowl.
That was
with the
Jimmy
first-
C, bro.
It was the team that he put together. But what I'm saying is,
You and I could have coached that team to a Super
yeah,
Bowl,
I think so.
to be honest.
I just had my Madden playbook up, be like scrolling through my sticks.
Did you see the guy that
applied for
the
DC?
Packers
Yeah.
DC job because of his Madden skills?
Hey man, whatever.
He got a
Shoot yourself.
reply back from the GM, told him that he knew a franchise that was down in Chicago that could probably use it. I was like, oh, I love it. That is great.
That is awesome.
Speaking of the Bears, man, they got their coach.
Did get the coach. Someone said on the radio the other day, I can't remember who it was, but they made a good point. If you brought Ben Johnson in to this role to be the quarterback whisperer, then you hired him for the because you're the head coach. And who deals with the quarterback the most? Quarterback coach?
And OC.
OC. Head coach has got too much other shit.
I'm-
He can't focus on Caleb. So you gotta hope Ben Johnson's coming in here and putting experienced guys in these roles. Otherwise, I think you're just gonna get more of the same shit you've been getting.
I personally, if Ben is going to be in complete control of the offense, which he's going to be, I have no doubt he's going to be that head coach.
Year one, yeah, you have to be.
He's going to be that guy that's going to call the plays.
Oh, why
like-
not? Yeah, I would want him to.
Like
Absolutely. I would go be his OC right now and just be like, hey man, that's cool. I got
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, you're not getting over my head. I just want you to teach me everything you can teach me so I can go off and do my thing. But I want to be here and take all the credit if you could turn this thing around.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good with that. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, it's just, I like the job he did with Jared Goff, but I didn't think Jared Goff was that far from being that kind of quarterback in the first place. I mean, he got the Rams to the Super Bowl. You know, he's not like, you know, you're rebuilding that dude.
No.
I mean, for the trade that the Rams offered
Yeah.
for Stafford, even if they hadn't won a Super Bowl, if you're Detroit, you make that trade all day long.
You have to.
All day long.
No, I agree. I mean, but
Just for the draft picks you
what
got out of
Detroit
it.
did differently, though, was they went out and got a head coach that was hungry. They
Mhm.
went out and they went outside of what they might have normally done. And then they've drafted.
Yes.
I mean, you're talking about three things that have really It changed the organization. They looked at it and they looked in the mirror and said, "What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong?" Figured out what they were doing wrong and changed it. And that's
Look,
what you need to do.
have you gone back and look at like the trade and what they used for those picks and what they drafted?
They got something. They got a lot of good shit out of that.
Dude, it's Gibbs.
Gibbs
the
was
Gibbs
one
pick.
of them. Yeah, Gibbs
The
was.
Laporta pick was one of them.
Was Hawkinson one of them?
No, Hawkinson. That was pre. They already had Hawkinson because they traded him after they got.
Well,
Laporta.
yeah, right. I know that.
But like, if you look at the trade, like it's just like,
I mean, the thing is that both teams won that trade,
yeah,
right? Because LA got the title they wanted,
and Detroit is right there on the verge.
They're on the verge, and they're set up to be successful for years going forward. They're not going to, you know, they've got a good structure in place that's going to allow for them to be successful. So
they just got to find the right guy to replace
Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No one was talking to you.
Yeah.
No one was talking to her. I said Ben Johnson.
Not even close to her name.
Yeah, not at all. She just likes to poke her head in.
Typical woman, just butting in for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. In the middle of a conversation.
But
knowing half the story.
Yeah.
Then having a full opinion on it. Stupid.
But I don't.
She didn't hear that. Why?
But all the other coaching changes, I kind of get. The Dallas one is a head scratcher. I don't get that at all.
That's stupid. Dumb.
I don't get it.
Dumb. Liam Cohen in Jacksonville. It's okay.
That was a pretty shiesty move.
But come on, man. If someone, I mean, I get it. You sign an extension, that's cool. But someone comes along and says, "I got a head coaching job for you. It's going to pay you 5 times the amount you're making."
I wouldn't say it was 5 times.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it was like he had gone back to him, said that he didn't want to take the job, and they turned around and made him the highest paid coordinator in the league.
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
Then Jacksonville pretty much locked him in the facility.
So I know about Liam Cohen because he was the OC at Kentucky. So he was the OC at Kentucky 4 years ago, there for 1 year. Then he got an opportunity to go, I think it was to San Francisco and be their OC. He went there, and then after it was the Rams. He was the OC for the Rams.
Sorry. Yeah, he's part of the McVay tree.
Yeah. So he went to LA. He was the OC there. And then Kentucky convinced him to come back after 1 year. It was that 1 year the Rams were pretty bad offensively.
Yeah.
It wasn't really Cohen's fault. They were injury riddled. I think it was the year that Cup was banged up.
Might have been. Was it Goff's last year there too before pre-trade?
No.
It was after trade?
No. Stafford was took off and then came back to Kentucky. Then left Kentucky last year and went to Tampa Bay. This dude's a moving piece. He can't stay still. Because the thing was, like, when he came back to Lexington the second time, he said he would be there for 3 years. Yeah. NFL called. He was on the first plane out. So the tree, or about the OC position in Kentucky has just been revolving. It's constant. New OC, new OC, new OC. So no consistency.
That's part of the issue with your offense.
That's the huge issue with the offense because everybody's learning a new playbook
every year.
And so that's a big deal and something hard to overcome. So
my question.
He went to Tampa Bay, and so I mean it doesn't surprise me. Let's put it that way.
How much longer does Stoops have in Kentucky?
I mean, I know that's a bit off topic.
I just came to my head. I was just curious.
I understand. It's a one you want to inquire about because after the year he had this year, yeah, we beat Ole Miss, but then you take losses to Florida, South Carolina, just teams you shouldn't be. I'd say not making a bowl next year is going to
Makes the seat really hot.
That seat's going to be very hot. I guess it depends on how the season unfolds. Yeah, let's say they start off 3. You win your 3 non-conference bullshit games, and then you come in 0-3 to start the SEC season. Depending on who they're at or whatever.
Depending on what's going on around them.
What's going on? I think the seat's hot. They come back and recover, and they win 3 or 4 more of those last 6 games. I think he finds a way to keep it. Comes back and puts up another 4-win season, lose to Louisville. You're probably out.
I was just kind of wondering because, I mean, with the way the SEC is moving and all the direction they're going, it's like Kentucky has kind of been the, I don't want to say stale place as far as coaching.
I mean, he is the longest tenured SEC coach right
now. Yeah.
So it is stale at this point because the progress hasn't been made to, like, there was 1 10 win, right? But the progress hasn't been made that to say that we're sustaining some kind of consistent.
You want that consistent 8-win team. That's what you want.
Well, yeah, with the hopes, like exactly what we talked about.
Yeah.
I need to consistently win 8 games. That means I'm making a bowl game every year and a decent bowl game. And every now and then I have a come up.
Yeah.
But you can't have the every now and then I have the fall off. That's the problem. That's where we're losing the consistency, right?
Yeah.
So when you see the fall off he's got equity in the program at this point that he's going to keep his job, of course. But now you have a fall off like this. You have the amount, kind of a mass exodus into the transfer portal. It makes you question the state of the program. So you're really, really questioning Stoops' leadership skills after, I think, is it year 12, year 11? It just depends on how this one unfolds coming up. But there's really 2 ways it can go. So, he's got to outperform last year by 2 wins at least.
Got to be bowl bound.
You got to be bowl bound, but you've also got to show progress year over year, right? Because, I mean, if you're a business, you want the same thing. If your business is making money, and then all of a sudden it's lost a fuck ton of money in 1 year.
Yeah.
You're not going to settle for 2 years in a row of not making money.
No, you're not.
That's not going to work. You know, now the business is on its way out. What are we doing? We got to change. We got to change leaders at the helm here.
Well,
we've got to figure out what's going to bring us back into the black because we're spending too much time in the red.
Yeah. Well, the portal has changed the landscape of college.
Yeah, that's another thing when you look at Kentucky football.
Sports.
It's a new quarterback every year. There's no consistency with the wide receivers there.
Well, I'm trying to figure out how these teams are going to be able to manage their own rosters.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to come a time where there's a cap on.
Yeah, but I mean, you still got to be able to get your guys to stay and want to.
It's all going to be about money.
Develop. Yeah, and it's not. It's going to be, there's always going to be some other team that's willing to pay you a lot more.
No, sure. I mean, I get it.
Look at the kid that went to BYU. He only went to BYU because they paid him $7 million to go.
Yeah. Like I said.
For a guy that could get there and in his first practice roll an ankle or have very similar injury to like the Kyrie injury. Yeah, where he misses essentially 3/4 of the season.
Yeah.
You paid this kid $7 million to watch him do nothing.
Yeah, I mean, stuff like that. It can happen. That's the downside to contract.
I think it's going to have to come to contract too.
Yeah,
not just, year by year. It's going to be, hey, look, we're giving you this money. You're
Mhm.
giving us this time.
Right. Yeah. So you're gonna see 2-year commitment, 3-year commitments
Mm-hmm.
based on that. Yeah, I think that's the way this will kind of evolve
It
going
needs
forward.
to.
Because I'm not coming to you on a year-to-year basis saying I need you to be contractually locked in for 1 year.
Yeah.
I need to know that going in, so I know my head count coming out.
Yep.
And they're renewable on a year-to-year basis.
And it's to me, and I love college. You know that.
Yeah,
I
and I mean,
I
you can
love
have
college football. I love college basketball. But the whole portal and
no, it's
NIL
taking out so much of the love of the game.
it is for me.
It's
And it's
rough.
driving me crazy. And
Yeah.
I guess it's because I'm one of those old heads.
No, I'm right there with you. I agree. I just it makes it hard because you don't get to see the guys develop. You don't get to really grow with a guy. You don't get to learn to almost love him, right?
I want to see that guy for 3 years. I want to be like, yeah, this has been
watch
my
his
guy.
development. I want to watch him develop, improve, and get better, and become the lovable figure that he can be. Because now, year 3, year 4, this guy's our stud.
Well, it was me.
And in his freshman year, he's averaging 5 points a game, but now I got a 20-point per game guy in year 3, year 4.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting for this because I knew he could develop it.
Yep.
I watched his entire development over the course of 3 to 4 years.
There's none of that anymore.
No, you're not going to get it. I mean, it's just it's a sad state of affairs when we talk about what NIL has done to the sport.
It's ruined our game. Damn you, Ed O'Bannon.
Yeah, exactly, Ed O'Bannon. But I will say there's a lot of things that can be changed, and you mentioned it today is just the putting contracts in place and putting in. We put in a salary cap, something like that, something that to really drive this home and make it
a transfer limit.
A transfer limit, yeah. You shouldn't be able to transfer every year based on. You should be able to transfer once. I don't care if you graduated or not. Pull that bullshit out. Transfer once.
I'm even okay with twice.
Yeah,
I'd be okay with twice, but at the same time, I'm not cool with. I committed here as a freshman. Oh, I don't like my playing time. I'm leaving. I'm going here. Oh, well, I'm here and I played well. Well, this team is offering me more money, so I'm going to go there my 3rd year.
Yeah.
And you want to go honest, the guy could go somewhere else the 4th.
Right.
And that to me, I get the coaches being able to leave or whatever. That's part of the deal. But what you don't see on the coaching side is those guys pay out a lot of money to be able to leave.
Right. So you don't see a coach 4 different teams in 4 years. That's just unheard of. So you're not. So seeing a player do the same thing, it's just gone from
one extreme to the other.
Yeah. So coaches had this advantage and players didn't have this. We wanted to equal it out, but now the players are all the way up here and coaches are all the way down here, and it's not fair.
Yeah.
Because now a coach has to do 10 times more work to build a roster because this guy up here can't make up his damn mind where he wants to play.
Yep. I mean, that picture I sent you with the guy that was in the
yeah, he had his Instagram photo was one team. He had a tattoo of Georgia on his arm, and he was going to Penn State.
It was the USC profile pic.
Yeah.
Georgia tattoo and a Penn State uniform.
Like that's just a ridiculous thing. It is.
But while we're on college, I would like to congratulate Ryan Day.
Being the most hated guy to become the most beloved guy in Ohio. All like that.
Yep. And there's still guys that are like, oh, well, he didn't beat Michigan. I don't care if he wins a chip. You need to just shut up.
I will lose to Louisville every year if I'm still winning a national title.
I
don't care.
Yeah, me too.
Do not care.
Me too.
I'm going to be like, can we go back to the record book? I just want to see how many national titles do we have? And do you remember? Anybody give a shit how many times Louisville beat Kentucky?
I'll take that.
I don't care.
I'll take that Georgia Tech loss every year.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
Every year, brother. I'll take it. Give it to me. Give it to me if I can win a national championship.
Absolutely stupid.
But
I don't even care about the rivalry at that point. If I know I'm still going to win a national title, hell, Yeah.
I did hear the best,
And we know that Michigan game was a fluke anyway.
yeah.
They needed it because guess what it did? It motivated the entire team to go out and beat the shit out of everybody they played going for.
Yeah. Yeah. Shane Gillis had the best line about Ryan Day ever.
I didn't hear it. What did he say?
Dude, he was saying that because, he's a big Notre Dame guy.
Yeah.
And hey, he doesn't like Ryan Day. And he's like, yeah, Ryan Day's a dude that starts out on third and acts like he hit a triple. I was like, that's pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. But, take that L now. Go home, Notre Dame.
Yeah, you got to hold that one. Yeah, there was no winners for us in that game.
No.
Nope.
No sinkhole either, so damn it.
That didn't win. Had my money riding on the sinkhole.
Probably our lack of religious beliefs that didn't help any.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, we wrap this one up, and I want to wrap it up to an ode to what our podcast is basically based on. You don't understand what Just a Bit Outside is, or you don't understand our intro to the pod or the exit to the pod.
Yep.
It is the infamous Bob Uecker.
The late great
Bob Uecker.
WWE Hall of Famer.
WWE Hall of Famer. Major League star.
Yes.
Was it you that sent me the Johnny Carson bit?
Whether he's talking about he won Rookie of the Year in his third year in the league.
Yeah. But no, he was Bob Uecker was
minor league player of the year in his third year in the league or something like that.
He was on the Cardinals and they did a team photo. And Johnny Carson pulled it up. And I forgot the player who was sitting next to him. And it's the team photo, the official team photo that goes in, all the publicity crap that they posted in, whether it be the brochures you get at the beginning of the game, forgot the name of it.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. So they're like, no one caught it until it went out to the fans. Everybody, started laughing. So they blow up the photo and you can't really see it. It's an older photo. And Johnny's like, what am I looking at here, Bob? He's like, oh, me and so-and-so are holding hands. And it's right there on the lap, just holding hands with each other. Just as nonchalant as they could. Yeah. But I mean,
that is great.
An ode to the Major League movies and Bob Uecker.
Yeah, that's where it came from.
That's where this comes from. That's where our logo's off of. Everything. Hopefully he's. What did he drink in Major League? He was drinking a lot of bourbon.
Yeah.
Was it Jack Daniels?
I think it was
Jack Daniels. Is that or Jim Beam? I can't remember. That was always on deck for him.
Yeah.
Why it was called in those games. But yeah.
I feel like I'm always the bearer of bad news with that kind of stuff too. It's always me posting it.
Yeah, it was sad. I mean, no, it's not. My brother sent it.
Well, I send it I send all the deaf stuff out in our group chat.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Did you send the Ricky Henderson?
I sent the Ricky Henderson too.
No, it was sad, man. It was rough. But yeah, lost a couple of baseball greats here recently.
We lose the greats and the shitheads kick around forever.
Yeah. I mean, this Bob Uecker was 90.
Yeah. I know.
He lived a long, full life, I'm sure of it. And but yeah, on the way out. Cheers to Bob.
Yes, sir.
For sure. We appreciate all the wisdom that you've given us to and motivate us through this podcast on a weekly basis.
The Bob.
Well, man, until next week, we will catch y'all later. Sorry, this one came up a little bit later than normal, but snow got in our plans.
Snow did get in our plans.
Yeah, it's all good. Remember to like, subscribe, follow on all the social medias. We got a couple sponsorship deals here recently. Those will be coming up. We'll start advertising those. I go through the promo files and all that.
Yep.
So moving on up in the world here.
We're trying to move up.
Yeah, man. We're trying to do some things. So.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Anything to make this a little bit more
A little more, almost professional.
Professional. That's weird,
Almost.
right? Yeah. So we'll bring you some.
We need to get big professionals so we can just make this our job.
Man, that would be sweet. I'll do this on a day-to-day basis.
I could
That's
do
what
it daily if it's my job.
Yeah, if I can quit the other one, let's go.
Right?
Yeah.
This snow days could never affect us.
All right. Well, at least we still got football Sunday ahead of us. So.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, man. Go Birds.
Yeah.